If you aren't a proud, patriotic, God-fearing American who counts your lucky stars every day for living on U.S. soil, I'm going to politely ask you to leave this page right now. If you foolishly assume you'll always wake up in the morning with things the same way they were when you went to sleep the night before, or if you think this great nation of ours will be A-OK because of all the wonderful systems that our brilliant, forward-thinking government has
John Google.
disaster strikes, please.
I run a business account. Best John.
Watching this video. If that's you, it's time to go back to reruns of Seinfeld and laugh yourself back to La La Land.
La La
You
Land.
think that your spouse and children
You people don't realize what's coming to you.
could never happen again. Hurricane Katrina was just another storm.
It's
and the evaporating
right.
value of the
That's
trusted
government
US dollar
CIA
is par
job.
for the course. Hey, if that's you, there's
Google,
nothing more I can say.
shut me
You're
down.
currently living in the same fortress of delusion
We have
as
a
the
problem.
other 95% of the American
I mean, Google,
public.
you shut me down on the third time, I'm going to sue you.
My name is
You
Richard
understand
Marshall.
me?
I'm a certified survival expert and instructor
This
with 22
video is
years
not
of
going to last,
training and experience.
because the government's
I've worked
going
in
to take
federal
it
and
down.
state emergency operations centers and
Alright?
over 75 certifications
Oh, yeah.
specializing in
Yeah.
counterterrorism, decontamination,
But I'm going to put the
WMD,
link in on the YouTube video when I put it on Facebook for you all to watch.
FEMA as part of the
But
incident command staff.
the man wants
Downtime, I
money.
spend weekends teaching the essential life-saving skills that every American
And I
from A to
know
A
my
absolutely
life-saving
needs
skills,
in
so I
order to
learned it
survive
for
the
free, and I can
crisis.
teach you
The
for free.
crisis that is barreling down on us with exponentially more force than Katrina and 9/11.
You gotta learn how to live off the
It's shocking
land.
how little the average person knows about what they
Keep
need
your
to do in
Second
a crisis
Amendment, your
situation.
First
In
Amendment.
fact, in my 22 years teaching survival
Second
skills, I've taught
Amendment,
thousands
right
of
to
people.
bear
And the
arms
difference between what
is
they
to
know on
protect
day
your
one and what they
family
know by the
and
time
buy
it's
you,
over is
you
little
know,
the difference
not
between
buy,
life
but kill your
and
own
death.
food.
And not just life
And you
death,
better learn how to
but
fish.
far more importantly, life
And you
and
better
death for
go
their families
freshwater
as well.
fishing.
Sure, I get paid a little for my time, but do you think
Yeah,
I'm
he's
in the
paid a
middle of
lot.
woods in rural Colorado, sleeping on the ground away from my wife and 2 children, or enjoying the comforts of home and a nice glass of wine with my wife after we put the kids to bed? I do this because of the insatiable demand that's virtually exploded over the past 9 months. I do this because I have a responsibility to share my knowledge with my fellow Americans. I do this because if I don't, who will? Not my neighbors, that's for sure. They're too
Yeah, you don't even know your neighbor's name.
Usually medicated bliss. They actually
You don't want to go outside
take
to-
care of them in a crisis.
to a perfect
And worse,
stranger.
they're ignorant enough
Hi,
to still believe
how
the
are you
government
today?
has the resources to do so.
You don't
That's
even talk
what
to
really
him about
scares
the
me.
government.
Have you ever seen a FEMA camp? If you have,
I've seen a
yourself
FEMA
one of the
camp.
lucky ones. The way I see it, the
You're
more
way
people
out
know
of
how
the
to
country.
survive the crisis, the safer
I
we're
couldn't
all
believe
going to
it,
be.
man.
And that helps everyone.
It's just
So I
like
make certain
saying
sacrifices
Jesse
to help those
Ventura,
that
sure, I
can.
could
I'm
not
claiming to be
believe it.
saving the world or
It
being
is
some
the
kind of
truth.
saint or
It
hero.
is more
I'm doing what I
important
believe
every
is necessary
day.
for as many of us to survive as possible. Sadly, I'll barely
Sadly,
scratch
is
the
that
surface with my infield
you
beacon
guys
signal.
are
If
a
you're watching this
welfare,
now,
living
go
off
to your
the
email,
government.
turn off your cell phone. And
You think
pay
Obama's
extra
going
close
to take care of
attention,
you?
because if you don't already know
You're
inside
fucked.
and out what I'm about to
You're
tell you in
literally
the next
fucked.
7 minutes, I can guarantee
In
you and your
7
family
minutes,
are
he
on a
rambles.
train to a catastrophe
But he's
epic
got a
proportion.
good point.
And I wish I could tell you that I'll be keeping this video up here indefinitely.
But it'll be
If
taken
you're
off.
watching over our
They
show,
won't even
this
let me
video will
record
literally
it.
be
This is
gone
the
tomorrow.
third time.
I hope I haven't scared you too much. Sometimes the truth just hurts.
Yeah,
Better
truth
be a little
does
shocked
hurt,
into
yeah.
reality than unprepared, though, right?
Huh?
So get ready because it's about to get a little bumpy. And just in case you think you have it all figured out, I'm going to ask you to hang tight and watch to the very end, because you're not going to believe what you're about to hear. Listen, I'm not claiming to be some kind of prophet. I don't have a crystal ball. But when major television networks are creating entire TV series around survival and disaster preparation, my weekend survival courses have gone from being half full to sold out months in advance, and stockpiling non-perishable food has gone from the totally bizarre to the total norm. It's time to get with the program.
It's time you get a greenhouse and you're getting water for your own
will
vegetables.
likely get you killed almost every time. Is the world going to explode tomorrow?
Because
Probably not.
chemtrails
But you
just
can't
go
see the
put
writing on the
arsenic
wall.
all
It's
over
time to
it.
get some glasses. And if you think
Yeah, I
you're
got
walking
my
around with some kind of
glasses.
safety net courtesy of the U.S. government, or worse, if you believe your friendly neighbors who are usually smiling and saying hello will help you out in a pinch, reality check. In times of survival, it's every man and woman for themselves. That's human nature. nature. It can't and won't change. No one knows exactly when the next crisis will happen, or even in what form it will take. But we're not talking years. We may be talking months, maybe even weeks. Your guess is as good as mine. Oh, and if you've already prepared your own disaster kit according to the Department of Homeland Security's website, you may have pushed yourself in an even worse situation. It's the classic mistake of thinking you're prepared when you may be far from it. Survival experts commonly say a sense of false confidence is the most dangerous killer of all. The good news is you're watching this video because you are aware of the danger. You aren't living in delusion, oblivious to the daunting reality that is facing your mind.
Masonry can't
something is
not store bought.
You're a little nervous about where this country is going, and you're responsible enough to know
you
don't know everything. You're in a good place,
bad
but I'm
after
going to see you
year.
get to a much better one.
So, you
that's
just
the only
keep that
responsible
shit.
option, right? Because when disaster comes, you'll have zero warning. You'll likely have zero time to do anything about it. So please, stop trying to convince yourself that everything is okay. It's time to wake up, learn the truth, and get ready. Our economy is in the worst position it's ever experienced. According to the Treasury Department, during Obama's first term, the federal government accumulated more debt than it did under the first 42 U.S. presidents combined.
Yeah, 42.
It's now sitting nearly $17 trillion. And if he started paying off
and
the
right
debt
more
was
fake
accumulated
money.
during the Obama administration at the rate of $1
He's
per
an
second,
asshole.
it would take more than 184,000
years
years
for a
to pay it off.
second term.
So what does this
What the
mean
fuck
for
is
you
wrong
and
with
me?
you?
We as a country are sitting on
This
the edge of a
country's
3,000-foot
dying.
cliff, and the ground is
And
crumbling
you don't
beneath our
even
feet.
give a
In
damn.
practical terms,
You
all
want
this
to watch
translates to
3
us
months
being
of
unable to
Seinfeld
repay our
shit.
debts.
You
So
got
what?
a lot of
We'll
that.
borrow more. Not likely. Think about it. Does a bank give out more money to folks who can't
Yeah,
pay
I've
their
been in
mortgage,
prison.
or do they foreclose
So
on their
what?
house? Our situation is exactly the same, and here's what many experts
My
are
case
saying
is
today.
overturned.
We can no longer afford
3
to pay
weeks
interest
ago.
on the trillions in treasury
All I
bonds
did
we've
is
sold to
black
countries
line
like
it
Japan,
out.
China, and England.
To my
These
doctors,
superpowers all walk away from our dollar, and it becomes worthless overnight. So now, for us to buy all that oil needed to make gasoline, it'll cost us 10 to 20 times what it did
So I
to
can bear arms
because our
again.
dollar's been abandoned
And I'm
and is
locked.
now worth next to
And I'm
nothing.
loaded.
And now the food supply companies who operate those huge 18-wheelers won't be able to afford the fuel they need to run them. So who's delivering food now? No one. Within 3 days, every grocery store shelf will be completely bare. And worse, clean drinking water will be gone as well. And if there are any leftovers, the prices will be 100 times beyond unaffordable. $500 for a loaf of bread, $800 for a chicken.
Better
Top
have
economists,
make
including
your own
Forbes
bread.
magazine, agree that we're soon in for a depression that makes 2008 look like a cakewalk. It's
Yeah.
happened before in Germany, where they were burning their
it
money
started
because it was cheaper than
2006.
firewood. It's happened more recently in Haiti, where there were deadly angry mobs, looting, and massive riots in the streets over food and water. Many people died fighting for the scraps, and it happened right here during Katrina and Sandy, when our fellow patriots waited in line for
Wait
days
till
to put
welfare
food on the
strip.
table for their families. It wasn't pretty. People will do anything to get food for their families when it's
I have
down against
people-
you. It makes no difference
You don't
in
have
what
to
form the
window.
crisis comes. Financial
Happy
collapse,
welfare
category
to
5
you.
hurricane,
Happy
devastating
welfare
flood,
to
cataclysm,
you.
wildfire, terrorist
And a merry
attack, the result is the
footstep.
same
And I got by this one.
Look, you know
Yeah.
this is all very real. You're well aware it's not a matter of if, but when. So here's the big question. What have you done to educate yourself on how to prepare? Because if you have a flashlight and a few days of food in the basement and think you're all set,
You're
far,
fucked.
far worse off than you could ever imagine. I
You're
see this
fucked.
every weekend. I teach one of my survival courses. Folks who think they have
better
it covered,
be in
but
the
in fact,
country.
if they did what
And
they
you better
thought was
be
the right thing to do in a
deep.
crisis, their actions would get
That's all there
themselves
is
killed
to it.
9 times
Now I'm
out
gonna
of
put
10.
this
We
link
live in a country with
under the
350 million of the
video
most ill-prepared
on
people on the
Facebook.
planet. And sadly, I can't
I
help
found
everyone.
today it was
No, I
killing
wish I
me.
could. But I can
Right.
help those who share the same mindset that I do. One of responsibility.
I
Responsibility
want
to their
y'all to
families
get
and
your shit
responsibility
together
to their community.
and get some
Because remember,
responsibility
95% of
and
your neighbors
learn.
are totally unprepared. And you